And let's go on to 2 Corinthians. So, Paul writes this letter, and, writes this first letter to the Corinthians. And chapter 5, he roots out this issue where one of the members of the church at Corinth was sleeping with his mother. And he goes on after that, teaching them what to do in situations like that, teaching them how to conduct themselves as individuals, as Christians, and collectively as a church. And a lot of our church doctrine is found in 1 Corinthians. And then getting to the resurrection chapter and to completion of that. Well, after that letter was sent to the church of Corinth, they repented. They took care of that situation. They grew and matured in the faith, and they grew and matured in their actions as a church. And so in 2 Corinthians, chapter 7, verses 9 through 11, Paul's heard this, and he writes them again and says, "Now I rejoice, not that ye were made sorry, but that ye sorrow to repentance. For ye were made sorry after a godly manner, that ye might receive damage by us in nothing. For godly sorrow worketh repentance to salvation, not to be repented of, but the sorrow of the world worketh death. For behold, this selfsame thing that ye sorrowed after a godly sort, what carefulness it wrought in you, yea, what clearing of yourself, yea, what indignation, yea, what fear, yea, what vehement desire, yea, what zeal, yea, what revenge, in all things you have approved yourself to be clear in this matter." He's talking about the church. They took care of the matter. They changed their ways and matured as a church. They handled things internally, so their church wouldn't get weak by members that weren't acting Christian-like. And in verse 10, where it talks about worketh repentance to salvation, not to be repented of, again, it's talking about the church. It's talking about the longevity of the church at Corinth. They handled it properly. They're growing. They're progressing. They're not regressing. They're not falling from grace. They're not having damnable heresies come in. They're not having all non-Christian-like behavior within the church that would cause them, when they go out and told others the gospel, to hurt their witness. He's praising them because they took the steps that they needed to do as a church so that they would not have their candlestick pulled from them.